Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Footer Philosophy, in which I discuss practical, experienced, self-discovered, sort of common sense and anecdotal philosophical stuff and share it with you so that perhaps this monologue will help you with your own personal discussion because we only learn so much at school, and to be honest, even at university, we're learning what the system wants us to know, and what they want us to know is not necessarily what we actually need to know. And we find that this becomes a self-awareness of what we need to know purely over time, because you do need time to get experience, to build in that experience and consolidate the benefits of it. And so we learn from our experience by simply having it, by making our mistakes and recognizing the mistakes in different situations, knowing our strengths, understanding our weaknesses, and therefore we continue to grow. However, we're surrounded by people who grow just a little, others who grow a lot, but most folk, to be honest, they kind of start to shrink as they go into old age, partly because people don't look after their health. And as much as we learn from our own experience, there's a considerable skill and knowledge to be had from learning from other people's experiences. And that's not necessarily these people happen to be family or friends or learn from the positivity of their experiences. You can learn a lot from the negativity of other people's experience. And one very good example is a guy I knew many years ago who regarded himself as a bit of a player, and he took personal pride in manipulating his partners. And eventually he came across a partner who manipulated him, because one of the great risks in life, one of the great weaknesses, is starting to believe you're smarter than you actually are. In fact, one of the great skills of life is not so much being greatly, really, really smart. It's about how to avoid doing stupid things, whether it be physical activities, emotional relationships, or jobs of work, or lack of work. There's a lot of options. But this chap, he really messed his life up. And you could actually see it playing out as they changed homes every 2 years to capitalise in the rising house market. And all the while he's signing documents left, right and centre. I didn't realise he'd signed a marriage agreement form, a contract, after which he got married and then was announced, basically informed he was being divorced. And he walked away with £100,000 from a £5 million property. Now, that is a huge mistake, huge, and we can certainly have a certain amount of sympathy for those that we know who have made these sort of mistakes, because many mistakes are quite nominal. You can recover from them, you can bounce back, but the consequence is that he's gone to another country and entered a monastery. Because he had a complete and total breakdown. And this happened because everything he assumed, everything he believed, everything in his successful life was suddenly literally within 1 month, it was utterly destroyed. And it's an extreme situation, but there's so much that the observer can learn from that. And one of the things we learn is never to overreach. And this is where we start to even review again and upgrade our reviews, our previous reviews, on what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. So it's not a decision we make once off in life. It's something that we spring clean. We vet it at least once a year and just sit down and say, right, where am I at? Where am I going? What am I doing? How could this really go badly wrong? And also, how can it really, really go right? And how can we improve and better things? It's too easy to look at the threats in life and decide to do nothing and then not to live. But one of the great skills is not just knowing ourselves, but knowing ourselves through other people's experience and other people's feedback, listening to people. And in doing so, we can create opportunities for ourselves that we would never previously have contemplated, whether it be a sporting achievement, writing books, going on a journey, taking up a new hobby in which we're particularly successful. All this can be further tuned if we employ some good old stoic, practical, experience-based philosophy. I'm Ralphie, hope you've enjoyed this little monologue. I'll away now, get a bit more fresh air and leave you to the view.